As you guys know me, I have a juicy interview lined up for you guys with JP van der Linde. It covers a whole lot of topics. But before we get there, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Trade. Trade is a locally regulated broker with Category 1 and Category 2 licenses. They are authorized as an ODP, which is the most recent license that the FSCA requires a broker to have. They have a wide variety of trading instruments ranging from forex, commodities, and indices. They offer rand-based accounts to ensure that funds are truly localized, and they keep funds in truly segregated accounts, which means clients' funds cannot upkeep the business. I'd recommend you guys to give Trade a try. Use the link in my description so that you guys can go and check them out today. So guys, we've got here again JP van der Linde with Fxsniipercapital, and I think it is almost a year, if not longer, since we had our last interview. Now I have to give this update. As I told you guys, JP will be placing me in his Signal group so that I can kind of have a feel of how he is doing things. Now the initial agreement was that JP was going to keep me around for a month, but we are now like a year and some months later, and I'm still in that group. Now, what really impresses me about that group is the fact that he doesn't only send signals like, okay, there you go, there's your signals, this is what you paid for, this is what I promised you. He also sends updates so that whenever there is losses, there is improvements that they are constantly working towards to ensure that the next couple of signals is at its highest quality. So JP, I welcome you to my channel again. It's a pleasure having you here. As you know, I am on a mission to not only shine a light on what's wrong in this industry this year, but also shining a light on you guys that actually needs it. Can you give us a little intro to you and what you do? Because I mean, I know you, or I know what you do. I am in your group for like over a year now. So for those that don't know you, who are you?
All right. So just once again, thanks for having me. It's been an interview that I believe is long overdue. We've been planning it for quite a while. And Yeah, JP van der Linde. I've been trading for about 5 years full time now. Registered my company back in 2019, Fxsniipercapital, as a private company. Started the Signal service, started the mentorship, putting together content on Google Drive that I feel people will really find educational, and that they can, and it's simple enough for the simplest or the least experienced of traders to understand as well. Been a funded trader with FTMO for quite a while, a couple of years, or rather a year and a half, couple of months, if my math adds up. And that's what I've been specializing in, trading indices. I've never traded any currency pair in my life. Actually started with the synthetic indices, the crash and boom, for guys that know what synthetics are. And then I moved over to gold, started trading NASDAQ, and obviously NASDAQ has been a good platform for myself to move over to US 30, and that's what I've been specializing in the last 2 to 3 years, solely trading US indices, focusing on the New York session. Even though one can make money in the London session and the Asian session as well, I prefer the increased volatility. I prefer the rush. I prefer the small stops, higher risk to reward ratios. So yeah, that's what we're specializing in: US 30, high volatility trading.
Okay, that's really interesting to hear. Now, when you take a look at, because this is obviously, you know that I'm busy with other things throughout the day. And now that you've mentioned that you've never traded a currency pair, I've actually never seen a currency pair signal there by you, which begs the next question. With how you do things and with things really set up concerning the US 30 NASDAQ scene, when it comes to signals and account management and stuff, how do you feel? Do you feel like it's moving in the right direction? Or do you there's still some individuals that's kind of holding back the potential of what these indices can do for people if they are being taught the proper methods or being given the correct signals?
I definitely feel it's the most profitable instrument to trade. I've obviously tried all of my strategies on different instruments because I've had clients asking me, you know what, can we use this on NASDAQ? Definitely, you can use it on NASDAQ and the S&P 500, given the fact that those three charts do align. But regarding gold, gold is volatile enough to make money. Some of the biggest prop firm or funded traders in the world, someone like Raul Gonzalez, he trades gold. I've just never had a fair amount of success with lower time frame entries on gold. Taking US30 for an example, you can enter on the lower time frames on the M1 chart with a solid broker. If you use TradingView, for example, those brokers are all solid enough to teach you the proper entries on the lower time frames. What I mean by saying that is, with gold, you'll see a spike in one direction and the next moment it just drops again, and there's absolutely no reason behind it. I can be wrong by saying fundamentals and certain things happening in the world don't affect the indice prices as much as commodities or major currency pairs. That's possible. That is a possible reason. I've just always preferred US30. I prefer the stability. I've always said history tends to repeat itself, right? So what I've seen with US30 is during the New York Stock Exchange Open, when you trade 330 or 430, depending on whether it's daylight savings or not, I've seen price time and time again do what it has done before, or rather repeat itself. And by saying that, and by realizing that on the charts, it's so much easier to apply certain strategies to your personality and your trading style. And yeah, the possibilities are just endless. You can obviously there have been guys in the past that have said my stop loss is too small, taking 150 or 200 pip stop. Relating that to currency pairs, it's about a 15 or 20 pip stop per 1.00 entry. It adds up to about $15 to $20, depending on the slippage. But I mean, the risk to reward, we aim a minimum of 1 to 5. So TP1 will always be 750 pips, and if you get into the right direction and you're in the right trade, that TP1 comes so quick that you can easily increase your risk to reward to 1 to 7 or 1 to 10, and that's actually where our TP2 is at as well, at 1,500 pips. So by using a small stop loss, US30 enables you to get a lot more out of a trade, if that makes sense. By not, patience trading is 90% waiting, whether you're waiting to get in the right trade, waiting to remain in the trade, when to get out, and only 10% physically hitting the button, buy or sell. And some guys don't necessarily have the patience to wait for a currency pair to move in a certain direction. There are so many other factors that come into consideration when trading currency pairs. And if you're an intraday trader and you enter the morning and something happens during London session and it doesn't necessarily follow through during the connection into the afternoon into New York session, then your trade will be halfway to take profit, and it will simply come back to take you out at entry, which is fine, risk-free. But with currency pairs, you'll never get that 750 or 1,000 pips within a matter of 2 to 3 minutes, and that's where the thrill of it all comes in for me. That's what I enjoy most.
Okay, so basically you are a scalper. Do I say high risk scalper or just straight scalper?
I can be both. I've always recommended to guys when clients sign up, I believe other mentors would have received this question as well 50 to 100 times. People always ask me, what amount should I start with? And to me, that's a question I can never answer, but I try to do so by saying the following. I'll always tell people, obviously, when investing, whether it's Forex trading, whether it's going to the casino, whether it's whatever sort of speculative gambling you prefer to do to generate a passive income, I always tell them to never use your bread and milk money. If you still have to buy groceries, or you've only got 2K to spend extra this month, do not use it on Forex. What you should be doing is, and I've done it the last 6 months full time. I've used this method to trade fundamentals by beating the system a bit. It's not necessarily considered hedging, but you trade on 2 different trading accounts and you simply beat the system. Like I said, you can, for example, deposit 2K into a broker, into your wallet. And if you open a trading account with a broker that offers you 100% bonus, for example, then you take only a percentage or a fraction of the 2,000 Rand that you deposited into your wallet, and you use, let's say, for example, 500 Rand to trade the signal that afternoon. By putting 500 bucks into the account, your equity will, for example, be 1,000 Rand or 1,500 Rand if you are with a broker that offers more bonus, a 200% bonus. And by doing that with a maximum leverage, let's say on average 1 to 500 leverage, then you can get into the market with a maximum entry of either 1.00 or 0.01, depending on which broker it is. Then you don't necessarily have to use a stop loss. So what I did in the beginning, I'll take 500 bucks and I've got 1,000 Rand equity, enter at the open in whichever direction it goes, and you've got leeway, or you've got like room for error of about 250 to 300 pips. If it goes against you in the opposite direction, then you're obviously blowing the account. But if it goes into the right direction, only 500 pips, or TP1 in my community, 750 pips, then it's $75. You're looking at 1,100, 1,200 bucks. So you're more than doubling. You're making in excess of 200% return on investment with only 500 bucks. And if you've got 2,000 Rand to lose, you can be wrong 4 times. And if you then take win rates and win percentage into account, then the upside it's non-negotiable. It's a given, if that makes sense.
Okay, so play, or let me rather say, because I hate it when people say we're gonna play forex.
Yeah.
So trade with money that you can lose. One thing that is really interesting for me is the fact that I've been in your Signal group for over a year. We just started chatting, say, a month ago, trying to get this interview off the foot and trying to get to where we are right now. But for this full year I've been in your group, we haven't spoken to each other at all. And it's been a year. I've seen the reports week on week, month on month. And I would just like to know, for that full year, because I mean, it would sound a little suspect that I've been in your group for a year and here we are having an interview. But what was the purpose of having me there for so long?
So I definitely say, you've had all these guys that will say, "Oh, I paid you now to do this interview with me," and Riddle, you can't just stay in the guys group for a week or two. I saw all the comments on the previous YouTube video when you did the service review back then, and you know what, guys spoke truth. You can't verify a mentor's authenticity and truthfulness and integrity by only being with them even 6 months. In my opinion, 3 to 6 months is not even enough time. So I just took those comments and decided, you know what, I'll keep you in the loop, just to once again prove that I'm one of the very few guys in the industry that's actually open and truthful about the service that I offer, as well as the advertisements or the advertising thereof. You'll see a lot of guys flashing and living this lifestyle and playing on people's emotions. It's like these guys they've all got sales backgrounds. They sold cars or sold insurance products or whatever, and they're simply playing on people's emotions by portraying this lifestyle that is 8 to 9 out of 10 times. And I'll say this, you can come at me afterwards. If you know it's the truth, you won't come at me. Mentors use subscription money to fund these lifestyles, and it's not sustainable, because in plain English, you're busy fucking other people's lives up, and and it's not spoken of enough in this industry regarding what are you doing behind the scenes, what are you advertising on social media, and what are you telling people, and then obviously what are you telling yourself at night when you go to bed. So yeah, I just did that. I decided I'm going to keep you on not for any credit, not for back then, not for a future interview. It was one of the last things that was on my on my action plan or on my goal list. So yeah, I just decided it's just going to prove to you once again that what you see is what you get, and what I advertise is what you get. And if you're not happy about it, talk to me. I've always told guys in person as well before they sign up, whether it was mates of mine, whether it's friends or family or friends of friends that want to sign up. It's not written on paper, but I believe I'm one of the only signal providers in the country that has a refund policy. If you don't make 25%, at least 25% return on investment every month that you subscribe for my signals, I'll give you your money back. And I believe I'm one of the only guys that will back myself enough to say, listen, if you don't make money with me, I'm not going to blame the market. I'm not going to blame fundamentals. I'm not going to blame my lifestyle or that I've been popping champagne bottles on a Tuesday night. None of that. I'll give you your money back because then I simply wasted your time and your money. And that's the last thing a mentor should want to be doing. Yeah.
That's a challenge. Yo, now look, I respect that. Someone that can respect the clients to the point where they're like, listen, if we don't make X amount of money, then I can only respect that. Now, obviously, throughout your honesty, your dedication towards your clients, which I'm very certain most of them, all of them would thank you for, through the ups and downs, right? Through the take profits and the stop losses, because when it comes to a stop loss point, some clients tend to want to distance themselves and then they feel like, okay, I've been scammed. The question that I have for you is, throughout the TPs and stop losses, what do you do to make sure that you are being trusted, to make sure that whenever you give a direction or a an order to execute, that people will follow? Because also, if certain people or if the clients do not follow the strategy providers signals at a certain point, they will also not get the percentage that he gets at the end of the month, if we're sticking to percentage talk now. But what do you do to make sure that the morale of your group and your clients are always at a good level and that they always trust you?
So, in my personal life, I've always made the joke, and it's actually not a joke. I've always said there are three things that are certain in life, right? One is taxes and inflation. Two is death. And three is that you'll always be losing a trade here and there. I've never seen a video of someone or seen a social profile of a trader in any part of the world that has 100% track record. So you can eliminate. I've had guys ask me, "Oh, you know what, JP, I see you doing this trading thing. I want to invest now, but I'm still in matric. I've got 1,000 Rand savings. Can you guarantee me not losing any money?" And the answer is simple. It's no. You know what? I've always told clients that you have to see it as a long-term investment. If you come into trading thinking, and you're going to hear this, and you have heard it 10 to 20 times before, if not more, trading is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a very lucrative way of generating a passive income. I wouldn't recommend making it your first income, your main income, as that puts a lot of additional and unnecessary stress on your emotional side, taking into consideration the fact that trading is 90% psychology and 10% skill. So I just time and time again, remind my clients that it is a long-term thing. Set weekly targets, set monthly targets, even if you're starting small. Don't be looking on Instagram at these guys taking 5K and making 40, 50K with NFP. That's either a demo account. That's what it is. It's either a demo account where there's no emotions involved, or it's years and years of experience. I'm not taking it away from anyone that has the skill to do that, to flip an account in 30 to 60 seconds, for example, and even make 2, 3, 400% return. As a newbie or as a starter in Forex trading, you have to realize that the bank, if you are a grown up and you've got some money to invest and put away, the bank will currently give you a percentage just above inflation. So if inflation is currently, if CPI is currently at about 6%, 6.2%, then the bank will maybe give you 7%. If you have a good track record, if you're investing a large amount of money, and by making 20%, 25% return on your investment on a monthly basis, you are already 4 years ahead of your investment at the bank or any other financial institution in 1 month. And people tend to not do that math before they start trading. They saw, yes, this guy on Instagram, he drives a Golf R. Right, he said, I can start with 2K, end of the week, I'm going to have 10K. And now, if you took that 2K to only 3,000 Rand at the end of the week, it's 50% return on investment. But you didn't make the 10K that this guru or this mentor on
That the guru
Instagram
said he would make, yeah.
that he or she told you that you will make. And now all of a sudden, fuck Forex, no, it's a scam. And I don't know. And that's currently the biggest problem. It's guys have this mentality when it comes to trading and the expectations.
The expectations is really high. I have to admit that the expectations is really high, and it's unrealistic as well.
It is. No, definitely.
Seeing that we're talking about your clients, how are they doing? Are they profitable? Are you still dedicating yourself to those that aren't as profitable? Where are you headed with this and with them? Because I don't know if you've seen this latest trend, but a lot of mentors have been helping their clients pass these FTMO challenges.
Yeah.
So in terms of you and your clients, where do you see yourself moving with them?
So since I registered the company back in 2019, like I said earlier, I've had a total of roughly 200 clients on book. Currently, it's down to about 22 clients, recurring clients. Now, you'll hear this and you'll obviously think, nah, this guy's service is bad. Allow me to explain. So by saying that, the current recurring clients that I have, most of them are fairly new to trading. And that's what I specialize in, and I prefer that. I wouldn't say it's always been a goal of mine to have thousands of clients, even though it would be ideal. I prefer when clients sign up for a time period or a time frame of, let's say, 3 to 12 months, and they really put the time in to gain as much knowledge as possible and ultimately be profitable on their own. In my personal opinion, it's very important for a trader to truly experience financial freedom, but they can only do so by escaping the authority and the guidance of the mentor that helped them become profitable. It's really important to find your own feet. So that's what I focus on. If guys aren't profitable, I'll always ask them, did you trade all the signals? And did you use one of the strategies in your free time or when trading by yourself, on your own? And if there were big mistakes made, you can always, the client can always message me. I try my best to get back to everyone as soon as possible. And I believe that distinguishes me from the rest as well. Even if I have to say so myself, you have all these other guys that won't ever answer a message. He won't answer email. He won't answer Instagram message. He'll just either refer you to his admin lady or PA. That person doesn't even exist, but it's just it sounds professional to say it, just contact my admin lady on this number. And so I try to really be involved, even if the guy's just trading with 500 Rand or 1,000 Rand, or even some of my bigger clients, guys that have signed up for a year that, that year's subscription is almost ending. So I prefer it when guys sign up with me, and I've seen it in my free group last week. There were a couple of my clients that used to be in the community about a year and a half ago, and they're taking trades on their own. They're sending directional biases. They're sending possible TPs, and I've got no problem with that. Usually I don't allow guys to send any trades or ideas on the free group because it obviously comes back to me. I have to protect my own reputation and the name of the company. But I love to see guys move away from our community, not necessarily coming back. There have been guys that, let's say, were in the community for 3 to 6 months. Then he traded on his own for 3 to 6 months, and he came back for 1 month just to sharpen up a couple of his skills, or just to freshen up again. So yeah, that's what I prefer. If guys really find their feet and become profitable on their own, that should be the goal of all mentors. If it's not your goal, then your only goal is to get 1,000 guys paying you $500 a month, advertise it as VIP signals, and now all of a sudden you can trade. You simply funding. Yeah, it's my personal opinion on the whole industry, which cannot be left unspoken. It has to be mentioned, because what guys are doing, and they're driving cars that are worth way more than the flat they're living in. They're sharing flats. They withdrawing money once and taking pictures of the stacks and the racks of cash in different ways, and then posting it every week, and now all of a sudden it's weekly withdrawals. It's actually not. 500 guys paid you, you withdrawed the money once. That's the truth of it. So yeah,
you just hit the nail on the head right there. Now, back to some serious talk. You must definitely know that when it comes to the regulations, the FSCA is moving to include mentorship and signal providers within the scope of the regulations. Do you have any plans of getting FSCA regulated in the future? Because that is kind of big,
No, definitely. Yeah. You obviously want to live a life that the cops won't come looking for you, and you definitely don't want personal threats or anything on your life. So I've definitely been in the process of becoming regulated. I've recently started with a corporate job at Liberty as a financial advisor, and then obviously with due course, upon completion of my regulatory exams, I'll be FSCA regulated, and I'll therefore legally be allowed to offer financial advice to my trading clients, with the intention to not cause a conflict of interest, of course.
That is great news. Now, I am actually taken aback by this, because obviously I'm in your group. I've been in your group for a year and some months now. And obviously you're all making money. And clearly you do not need this job, but you saw where regulations are going, and you knew that, okay, this is probably going to be the easiest or the quickest way for me to get to that regulation. So kudos to you for actually putting in the effort to getting FSA regulated, because that isn't actually on people's serious list of things to get done concerning mentorship. Now, when it comes to your Google Drive that you have sent me, and trust me, I've been checking through the course curriculum, if I can call it that. I was wondering if you can give me like a 1-minute breakdown of what the Alpha strategy, the educational PDFs, the Fantastic strategy, the Foxtrot 20, what those are about, and what do you offer within that whole spectrum, because obviously there's some that I didn't mention.
So yeah, what basically happens is when a client signs up with me, I'll ask them for their email address, and then I mail them all the Google Drive folders consisting of the above mentioned, like you said, educational PDFs, the different strategies. One main area where it covers the basics, it'll be the educational folder. Those will be basic theories and theoretical content. It includes a Candlestick Bible PDF, a book written by Mark Douglas with the name of Trading in the Zone, and then also a file with just the basic or the main candlestick patterns on. All the other strategies, I've developed them all by myself, tried and tested. I've always said you learn the quickest in the Forex industry by losing money. And when I tell that to guys, they think I'm crazy, but it's one of the best. It's been one of my best masters when it comes to improving my knowledge was when I lost money. That's when I learned the quickest where my mistakes were. So, the alpha strat, or rather the alpha strategy is our main strategy. It's used on US30 and NASDAQ mainly. It's used on the M15 time frame, and it basically just gives us an order block to be used during the next day's trading. And if it's one thing I've learned with US30 is, in my opinion, is that there are three main time frames that are most important. It will be the daily time frame for directional bias, where I'll decide before the day's trading starts which way the market might go. The M15 time frame for the order block from the previous night, we call that the alpha block, and also for important supply and demand areas, or if you want to call it support and resistance areas, it's the same. It all comes down to the same thing. And then obviously the M1 time frame for accurate entries with a smaller stop loss. So that's basically what the Google Drive entails. It's about 13 gigabytes worth of content. Each folder has a couple of screenshots as an example of the strategy. It's also got a Word document in explaining the strategy to you, relevant steps that you should be taking when attempting and when learning and obviously applying the strategy. And I've got a couple of Zoom recordings on there. I used to do a lot of Zooms to really put in time with guys focusing on lower time frame entries where we did things like I call it personality candles. It boils down to an M1 candle that really jumps out of the screen. And whether it's an engulfing candle or whether it's a candle breaking through a round level, I have to give credit to Mr. Clint Fester. That's where I got the round levels from. He used to call it psychological round numbers in his course when I did it back then. And he uses type of math to calculate the distance between it. I simply take it on every 1,000 pips, so every $100 on the chart is a round level. And people are amazed and will be amazed as well when they see how important those round levels or those psychological levels are in trading US30. It's definitely it's a secret out there, if I can call it that. And you get all that.
Really, really interesting that you mentioned that you learned something from Clint Fester. So your pricing seems really interesting because it seems like it's a model that everyone is moving towards, but they are really struggling to adapt. Tell me, when it comes to subscription-based payments, do you feel like that keeps you motivated to keep on coming every day, delivering your best and making sure your clients are happy?
Oh, definitely. If I have to be honest with you, I might not be the cheapest guy in the industry, but I've got 4 different subscription packages. If you are a more experienced trader, then obviously you can take the signals only, which is 500 Rand per month. And then the full mentorship packages are divided into 1 month, 3 month, and 12-month packages. The pricing for the 1 month is 1,100 Rand. That amounts to about 50 Rand per trading day, if you assume there are 22 trading days in a month. Now, a lot of guys will see 1,100 Rand per month and they'll think, no, it's too expensive. But I mean, $50 per trading day. If you lose money fair, you feel like you didn't make anything after paying 50 Rand for today's signal, or the 2 signals that were sent today. But the upside can also be 1,000 Rand, 3,000 Rand. And guys that smoke, I always use this equation or this connection. A packet of cigarettes is $40. So why not pay 50 Rand a day to improve your knowledge in the industry? And so I've obviously been asked a lot, don't I think it's expensive when comparing it to other services and other guys in the industry? My answer is simple. I always say no, because when you buy a car, for example, a Land Cruiser, if you buy a Land Cruiser instead of a Mahindra, you know what you're buying. You might be paying
100%.
but I know when you decide in the future to sell that car again or to do whatever maintenance it might be, the quality of parts it cannot be compared. And in my opinion, the same applies to trading and Forex services in general.
Mm.
You get what you
No,
pay.
That is a good point. When I look at all of your achievements and I look at the fact that you have passed so many FCMO challenges to get the amount of capital that you are trading right now, that already is impressive, right? But looking at it from an outside perspective, sure, it's impressive. Congratulations. I don't you posted like so long ago, so I don't know if the congratulations is still valid. But what I wanted to ask was for someone that's been a funded trader for a very long time now, because to me a year and some months isn't just yesterday. You could have caught on any nonsense with that account and boom, you could have been kicked from that account. Because as I understand, these funded accounts, they are really strict with their rules. So is there any advice that you have for people that's gonna get into the funded programs? Is there any advice that you have concerning things that they should study, material that they can get a hold of to make their journey a whole lot easier? Because I'll be honest, from a personal perspective, I recently took or I am going to take receipt. I haven't even logged in yet, but the account details is there. So I'm supposed to have like traded already, but I took receipt of a $200,000 account, and but it's flippin' scary, my bro. I'll be real. I've never been this intimidated in my life before. So please, my bro, from a beginner's perspective, do you have any advice?
Yeah, so regarding the challenges itself, it was rather difficult in the beginning. I understand why some guys um, fail a couple of them. I've failed a number of challenges myself um, before eventually passing one, followed by a couple more, and then merging them together. The advantage of certain funding companies is that you can merge two or more funded accounts into one, and then
Sure.
ultimately increasing the capital amount that you can trade with, which is great. If you are comfortable with passing a $50,000 challenge or account, and you can do that 2, 3, 4 times, you can always merge two of them into 100 and another two into another 100, and you can make one a scalping account, the other one you can swing, because certain funding companies allow you to keep open trades during in the week, Monday to Friday. Some guys do allow holding a trade over the weekend, even though I don't recommend it. Your swap charges and whatnot will definitely be increasing if you tend to, or if you prefer to hold the trade open, for 2 to 3 weeks. I've got a couple of tips. I prefer to stick to one instrument. Really try and master, even though you'll never master an instrument. It's just easier to stick to one thing. If you prefer GJ, or if you prefer gold, if you prefer oil, if you prefer the German index or US 30 like we trade, I recommend sticking to it 100%. Working on your flaws, working on the small things that you're getting wrong, and trying to improve on that. Which is very important in funding challenges, is to not overtrade. You should have a trading plan in place. And what I mean by saying that is, you should decide. I personally, prefer to only take 2 losses per day. But those 2 losses can happen after I've taken a big win. The 2 losses I prefer to keep to, let's say, maximum minus 400 pips drawdown. By doing that, you are ensuring that you're not reaching that maximum daily drawdown limit, the 5% that you are allowed to lose on any given day.
Mm.
Um, a lot of guys will overtrade, and they'll keep a trade open, and obviously hope that the trade will turn if you don't trade with a stop loss. And before you know it, in your subconscious mind, you're not thinking about the 5% maximum daily drawdown. And then it hits a drawdown, and you might have been in profit on the account overall, let's say 7 or 8%. You're close to passing the challenge, the step one, but then you didn't think of the daily drawdown. So I personally don't overtrade, or I try to not overtrade. I have a certain risk, like that's my maximum loss for the day, and it's not even close to the 5% that they give us. To the upside, whatever trade shows itself during the given day, there's no limit for me on that. And then just obviously risk management is key. and not just in funding challenges, guys. Tend to take 500 Rand or 1,000 Rand slowly, let's say 2 to 3 weeks, they double that account. And now all of a sudden they realize they can increase the lot size. And then you're doubling the lot size or you're increasing it by 5 times. And then that given Monday, without you even realizing it, your emotions are taking over. Then you're losing that 1,000 Rand that took you 2 to 3 weeks to make it up, to build that account, to teach yourself discipline, small lots, risk management, stop loss sizes, really staying patient in your process of building that account. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. So risk management is very key in not just passing the challenges, but also keeping your funded accounts. Because once you get there, it's easy. Then it's a refundable deposit. Once you withdraw your first profit split after either 2 weeks or the first month, they send you an invoice. You fill the invoice in, you mail it back to them with banking details, and they refund you with that deposit on top of the profit split, your 70 or 80%, whatever you agreed upon with the company, or whatever their terms are with a 70-30 split. They pay you back the deposit. So it's actually free to do a funding challenge. You just have to pass.
Have a skill.
Yeah. And then they only require 10% profit over 3 months. So they don't require every month 10% like the challenge. Once you're in FTML, you only need
10% every 3 months.
3 months. So you can make 4% this month, 7% next month, and then you can only trade the minimum 10 trading days during the third month with small lots. If you lose $50 or you make $50 or whatever it might be, they don't take that into consideration. You're already up 11% within 3 months, and then it resets after 3 months. And then there's obviously a scaling plan. If you're consistently profitable every 3 to 6 months, it differs from prop firm to prop firm. They have a scaling program as well, where they can increase your capital with 25%, because you ultimately prove to them, listen, I know what I'm doing.
You're worth it.
I'm worth it. I'm profitable. I did the 10% in 2 months or 3 months as required. And then they increase. So if you've got a $100,000 account and you 10% profit within the first 3 months, they add 25% on top of that, which is great. It's a no-brainer, truly.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it really is, especially when you're at the point where you might lack capital. Now,
yes.
this advice that you have just imparted with here now, which is solid advice, I must say, is this the same type of advice that you've given your clients, that you have helped pass these funded accounts? Also, how does it work? How do you help them? Do you trade for them or do you just assist them?
So obviously don't trade for them, whether it's illegal or not. I prefer to not put that extra pressure on myself, even if I had the license to do so. I don't think I'll ever do the account management thing. So I basically recommend certain prop firms to clients, prop firms that I've passed challenges with, and then obviously the relevant stop loss sizes, take profit sizes, lot sizes, and then clients can obviously use the mentorship content that they received to improve their trading skills, and then either trade the challenge on their own or use the signals that I send on a daily basis, or both. I encourage every trader to go on that journey by themselves. It will teach you a lot of things about financial planning, about money management, about yourself as a person. You won't even realize it's doing that, but trading can be a very good overall mentor, the market itself. But you have you have to go on that journey by yourself after obviously receiving the building blocks, and that's what I focus on. You can't build a big house, a 5 million rand house, with a 10K foundation, you know.
That is facts. That is facts. Tell me, we have officially come to the end of the interview. It has been so flippin' amazing having you here. Thank you for taking up the time to sit down and chat with me. I know 47 minutes you could have made a lot of money within this time. Can you give us can you give us any future indication as to any future plans that you might have for your business? Are you planning to expand? Are you planning to add new products and services? How does the future look for your company within the Forex space?
So obviously, it's always been I can get a bit personal, it's always been my dream to open a real trading floor. Where traders and people from the public can come in and trade live with a group of specialists and analysts on a daily basis, where the floor will consist of various offices for seminars and training. That's always been a lifelong goal for me. Regarding the services that I'll be offering in the future, I plan to be doing the exact same that I've been doing the last couple of years. Obviously, improving on my skill, improving on the win rate. That's anyone's goal, but nothing big. Just like I said, trading floor. I believe Africa itself, even though there are a couple of guys that have been claiming to start these ventures, I haven't seen anything in real life just yet. But that's obviously the goal. It will be nice to have this live trading floor, like I said, where guys can come in. They don't even have to be clients or members of the community. You'll pay a once-off cash entrance, $20, $50, and there will be Wi-Fi, computers. Like I said, it'll basically be the setup of a hedge fund, just with real and live trading going on without all the noise and stuff in the background. Yeah, like
That's good.
Other than that, just keep on doing what I'm doing. Hopefully appoint one or two guys to help me take over some of my services in the trading floor. I've had a couple of guys that have come with me a long way that have also started from scratch, and it's really nice to see guys putting in that 2 to 3 year journey. And the guys that I'm talking about will know when I reference to them. It's basic guys. It's not, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a mate of mine. It's clients that I've built a relationship with. We've learned to trust each other, and it's guys that have started from scratch 2 years ago, whether he was a matric student or starting with his whatever electrician or whatever it is, and he's currently at a point where he can create a nice passive income to, whatever it is, pay for holidays, pay for a new car, put money away for a house, really try and plan a future and build a future. But that's only obviously been possible due to him seeing the bigger picture, sticking to his guns 2 to 3 years along the line, still doing the same thing, getting caught up in all the noise or bad habits. It's very crucial to protect your mental health in this industry as well. I don't want to be straying off topic, but it is a difficult industry. I don't want to be sugarcoating anything or pulling the wool over guys' eyes. It's been a journey for myself personally as well, but it's taught me more than any other institution has, whether it's your matric certificate, whether you have a degree or not, whether it's your mom and dad as mentors or role models in your life. This has been a game and an industry that has taught me more than anyone can. If you choose to take on that journey, be prepared. It's not easy, but you might just meet someone along the line that can make it a bit easier for you if you're lucky.
This was really amazing. Thank you so much for popping around. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us. Thank you for imparting the knowledge that you have been imparting with. I will leave links to your social medias in the description so that people can get a hold of you. But other than that, I wish you well, and may your business grow from strength to strength, buddy.
Cool. I appreciate that, man. Thanks once again. It was nice. We'll see what the future holds. I appreciate it.
Most definitely. And as those plans develop in the future, I will most definitely call you again for another interview.
We'll do that. No problem.
Thank you so much, buddy.
Thanks, bud.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.